Hello, and today is the 3rd of April. It's Friday. Yay, Friday. When you're working from home every day, it seems like Friday, or Monday, or Tuesday. It's hard to say sometimes what day it is because they're all just, it's like Groundhog's Day. It just keeps repeating. Anyway, so update on what's going on in the world as far as the COVID-19. As of right now, I think there's over 1 million people in the world that's been infected. The U.S. is about close to 250,000. There's been over 6,000 deaths. Right now, New York is showing over 92,000 cases in that state. North Carolina's over 2,000 cases now. Is in that situation. Again, no one that I know personally has been impacted or affected by that. The news locally is that there's a Lowe's hardware store where I live, and a lot of people have been going to the home improvement store this because it's very busy, because this is a lot of people have downtime, and so they're doing home improvement projects. One of the employees there tested positive. And so they basically closed down the store, cleaned it really, really, really well, and then reopened it. So it's one of those things where we have to be aware of, being careful. So a couple of things that kind of updates in general is we've had a lot of, for the last little bit, it's been very much kind of crisis mode where we are updating how we do things, how we do this, how we do that, whatever. What's not really been talked about too much is the coping of all the changes that are happening. A couple summers ago, I had an operation on my foot, my Achilles tendon. That's a whole story for another day. But I was laid up for a good couple of months. There was a big period of time where I couldn't even put any pressure on my foot, and it was in a cast, and it was a mess. Even though the injury, or not really the injury, it was, but the operation that happened, it was isolated to my ankle. It had an impact on me in general, of the things that I couldn't do, had impact on me. It was like a shock to my system, as far as, being able to do stuff. And we're kind of experiencing that kind of globally, and also just individually, as educators, as individuals, as students, as just everybody is like, we've kind of had this shock to the system, and we're dealing with the how to make things different. But there's not been a whole lot of focus on coping mechanisms and what we need to change. I will say I was very pleased with something that we did as a family last night during dinner. Had a wonderful conversation about communication, how we're all kind of, in the house together. We need to find ways to communicate positively, that the concept of using I statements, instead of, you were doing this and you were doing that. It's like, I feel frustrated when, when I feel like this is happening. Those I statements, those are very positive, important ways of communicating. Not that we've had a lot of arguments or fights or anything like that as a family, but we're just finding ways to make sure that we don't have those. And it's something we have to recognize, something we have to address, and something that we need to push forward. And so there's a lot of that going on, as far as trying to figure out ways to deal with things. That's where we're at. So for this weekend, it's actually General Conference for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the church to which I belong. Normally that's held at the Conference Center in Salt Lake when they have, tens of thousands of people attend, and then they broadcast it and stream it worldwide to the millions of members around the world. They're still going to stream it and broadcast it, but it's not going to be in the conference center. It's going to be very, they're going to take all the precautions they need to do. And, so, they won't have like the choir or anything like that. And it's not really about, conference isn't really about the pomp and circumstance. It's really more about the messages and getting, kind of being able to focus more on the important spiritual, eternal things of life, give some perspective. And so this is a great time to have it, is what we're going through. So I'm looking forward to that over this weekend. So that's kind of what's been going on for Friday the 3rd. And anyway, we continue to see the cases of people getting sick go up, more deaths go up. Really, and they're still saying that it won't probably peak until around the middle of April, and we're on April 3rd, so we'll see how that plays out. That's it for today.